slain for minimal gain. Youth that can't read, speech that can't talk, passion to move, a love that won't.
Hello, and welcome to another edition of Education's the Best Medicine. And thanks for watching. And remember, public access is your best bet. Today is a show on health and exercise. I have my good friend Pernell. Pernell is a physical fitness trainer and actor. I'm going to let you, I'll let him talk about it, give his bio, and then we're going to get into some discussions around exercise and health and fitness. Pernell, thanks for coming on.
How are you?
Can you give your full name?
Pernell Harris.
Pernell Harris. Okay. Pernell, tell us a little bit about yourself, and you know, you got some pretty interesting things going on. So you know, encapsulate it for us, please.
Well, started out in a group singing for a person who was associated with In Vogue. That helped me get into acting. I worked at a Coca-Cola Metrex, and my latest work was 24, season 2 with Kiefer Sutherland, and I was always seen on Party of Five and Married with Children. So
I guess being an actor and singer, you have to stay in shape. We have a major problem with obesity in the society, and just getting people to get active, particularly our youth. What do you think, and what are some of your suggestions for getting for folks active? And then I want to talk to you a little bit about some of the things they can do.
okay. Yes, being an actor and a model, etc., you have to have a industry body, and camera puts about 10 pounds of weight on you, so it's very competitive. You know, as you can imagine, it's competitive on a scholastic level, on an intellectual level, but also it's very challenging on the physical level. With regards to getting people active, I think that they overthink the process. They sabotage themselves from success because they overthink what it is that they have to do. The basic thing that you need to do is just put it in action, put it in motion. I say inertia, you know, illustrates what goes in motion stays in motion. So once you begin the process, it's easier to pile some positive versus compiling negative.
You know, people say, and I hear this all the time, I haven't worked out in a long time. I'm afraid of hurting myself. What are the real benefits of exercise at my age from 18 on to 80?
The benefit is you are preventing things from manifesting in your body. You know, you heard the ticking time bomb effect. We all have a ticking clock that goes off, and it's going to go off eventually. Eventually the bell will sound. It's your responsibility as a person to knock that clock back, okay? If you're just going to sit around and wait for the bomb to explode, then you're actually destroying yourself. Exercising and putting yourself in the best positive light is what you need to do. Us as human beings, we as human beings, have the greatest thing in the world, which is our bodies. And we only get one. There's no zippers back there, there's no snaps back there. You can't hop in one and get in the other. It's a perfect piece of machinery. It does what you say. There's no body that takes positive information and turns it into bad information, unless you have a disease, and that's something that we have physicians to help us out with.
Well, what about getting started? I haven't been working out for a long time.
Okay.
Had a few injuries, maybe knee injury or just a really tight back. How do I get started exercising?
You get a physical, go to your doctor, find out what your high blood pressure is, if you have it, what your resting heart rate is. See if you're physically able to exercise, excuse me. And then once that's established, go to the basics, start walking. If you have a knee injury or whatnot, there's machinery available at different health clubs that is low impact that will allow you to still raise your heart rate, to get cardio going, to get your heart muscle pumping, and also work and get your lung capacity up to par, because you need that oxygen to sustain yourself when you go to higher levels of exercise. That's when I said people overthink the process. They visualize themselves as already healthy and already in shape versus what it takes to get to that level, what has to happen in between. They overthink that process.
Which gets me to the question about a trainer. How do you pick a trainer? What credentials should that he or she have? What's a reasonable time frame, you know, given adequate conditions for a person being able to realize the benefits?
When you pick a personal trainer, I think that first and foremost, it should be a connection between you and that person. What helps me is when I'm walking through life or doing the normal thing at the grocery store, what have you, my energy level was up. People always tell me you move really fast because I have a high energy level and I'm focused and I know what it is that I want to do. And they ask me, are you a personal trainer? So that's how I connect with the people when they first see me. They want energy like me. They want to look like me. They want to feel like I do. So that's the difference from looking at someone in a book, someone that's been referred, that you may not have that connection with that person that you have if you have that first visual effect, because instantly you have credibility when they see you and they say you walking the walk, you living what you're teaching. You're not just talking. You're just not just going to school and getting a certification and finding out how to properly align a person and sitting back and watching them. When I work out with most of my clients, I only take a few. When I work out with my clients, I actually work out with them. I usually go through the exercise progressions with them, all the stretches. I push them to different levels. I know that they can't realistically go to the levels that I go to, but I know just how far to push a person by the way that they're holding themselves, the way that they're breathing. I know what their resting heart rate is. I'm checking in on them, making sure that they're safe.
Okay. Basic routine for beginning an exercise program. You know, we hear so much about the warm-up. What does a warm-up consist of? And what does a gradual progression mean to a certain level of activity and then cooling yourself down? Okay.
What I normally would do, if it's accessible, to get on a bike or an elliptical machine for 5 to 10 minutes at a steady pace. Nothing rigorous, just a steady pace to raise your heart rate, to warm your body up. That gets your blood flowing, that gets the oxygen going to those areas that you want to work.
So that could equate to a short walk, could equate to bicycling, could equate even to a short swim.
Exactly. It all could equate to that, but most importantly, you want to warm the body up. Then you want to go and do some type of stretching, okay? You want to stretch the major body parts, legs, back, shoulders, arms, neck. Go through that routine on a consistent basis to add flexibility to your routine. And then you should have a game plan on what it is you want to do after that, whether it be 100 push-ups or 100 sit-ups. If you want to do squats, you want to know how many sets you're going to do so that you have a plan. Write it down, look at it, visualize it, and then execute it. And then, okay.
Okay, execute.
Right.
Weights. Where do free weights versus the machines that we see fit into this particular program? My understanding that weight training improves strength, improves bone strength, and it increases cardiovascular. And we're getting away from the so-called muscular, you know, body individual as opposed to someone that has strength and mobility and flexibility. Is that the direction you're hearing now?
Yes, we're leaning towards a more leaner society. I've never been the type of person to build myself for combat, so to speak. There was a mentality where we as men were walking around with chips on our shoulders and waiting to battle the next person. We quickly found out that a lot of people don't like getting beat up or don't like having that physical presence,
yeah.
right? So they do other things to protect themselves. So now we're beginning to calm down as a society with that mentality. Weights are designed to give you mass, okay? The only reason why you would use weights or move towards weights is if you want to build some type of stature, some type of mass, change your body structure. Weights will do that for you. If you use machines, they're more of a free motion type of a mechanism, which works on your natural range of motion. So you can do as many reps as you want with that, burning calories and still building strength and cutting your body up, as they would say.
Which gets us to about how many days in a week should we be exercising, how long, and are periods of rest beneficial?
For the beginner or the person who's trying to just maintain themselves, I would recommend at least 3 days of physical exercise. And that's serious physical exercise where you commit yourself to at least an hour in that time frame. The off days, you focus on your nutrition, making sure you're getting enough water, making sure you eat enough roughage, enough complex carbohydrates to fuel your body, and then get ready for that next set of workouts for the following week. You know.
Well, maybe you can help me. This food pyramid, break it down. You know, what is it about? I think it's just more fruits and vegetables, if I could just put it in a nutshell. What do you think the new pyramid now, because they've switched it up, and now, I mean, it's like, and another question in my mind, is it culturally appropriate? You know, I mean, have they studied people of color to see that these kind of nutritional practices work for them? I hadn't heard it, so I was just wondering.
Well, as a society, as a culture, we just need to get back to the basics. I think commercialism, a lot of the media and the TV has brainwashed us to think that we have to eat or try the latest thing out on the market that's available. We are getting more and more lazier with our preparation of our foods. A lot of American families or homes don't even prepare their own meals. They bring it in already prepared because of working long hours or whatever the excuse.
Everybody's working, right?
Right. So whatever the excuse might be, we've gotten away from actually eating at the table together. You know, it's more of getting food and eating in front of the television, and you're seeing all these subliminal messages. The triangle for success to me is protein, which is vital to sustaining your muscle, and also you need muscle when you can't eat to sustain you throughout the day. So lean meats as chicken breast, turkey meat, salmon is always great. Any species of fish is always good to eat. You want to eat a multi-grain rice, preferably brown rice. It's a complex carbohydrate that doesn't stay in the body that long, but helps facilitate the protein getting to your muscles quicker. And then a nice form of fat in the form of cheese, yogurt, in that area. So throughout the day, you should be preparing your meals to represent a nice source of protein, a nice multigrain or roughage, and also some type of form of fat to sustain your body. In between meals, I would strongly recommend fruits and vegetables, broccoli, bananas, potassium, carrots, etc. Those things will help those in-between meals, but not overwhelm your body with excess calories and sugars.
Now, organic versus non-organic, I guess a question in my mind also is with any non-meat proteins one could intake, and also for folks that are lactose intolerant, what do you suggest?
There's several protein supplements on the market, and they come in liquid form or they come in powder form. And one form is all protein. It's like 50 grams of protein in one serving. So, and it's water soluble. So those things can be supplemented in your daily intake. I recommend those.
What about milkshakes, fruit milkshakes, more portable source of intake, and what do you think? Fresher the better would probably be a better?
Yeah, fresher the better. Those are all good. Like I said, we should research the side meals that we need to sustain ourselves throughout the day that are healthy versus those that are just easier to eat because they're easily accessed.
So basically, what I think you're saying is that good nutrition and activity, which will lead to good health, requires some work, and it requires some planning, and requires a commitment to make some changes.
Well, it requires your full attention. Like I said in the beginning, we have the perfect body. Everyone has a perfect body. It just depends on what you do with it. You know, we are in school and we are mandated to develop our brain. And we were mandated to develop our bodies by having physical PE be a requirement in the schools. Because without the body, what is the mind? Without the mind, what is the body? They work together. So we can't continue as a society to just develop 10% or 20% of our brain and just to develop 5% or 10% of our bodies and expect to live a meaningful and happy life. You know, it's all relative to you physically, emotionally, spiritually. If your body's not right, your whole universe basically isn't right. Once you start to dedicate more time to yourself instead of trying to, you know, buy a Coach bag or try to buy the latest pairs of jeans or try to buy the latest apparels or buying the latest video games or whatnot, you know, you're acclimating a lot of your income towards these recreational things and you're losing focus on what's most important, your body, which is allowing you to enjoy these things.
Special needs and concerns in women in exercise. Some of the barriers that you hear that prevent women from exercising, and how would you answer those issues in terms of those barriers to help them alleviate them?
The most important thing to focus on is self at that point. Because to be quite honest with you, when the bell rings and you go to the physician and he tells you, hey, this is how it is, you only have X amount of time. You'd be surprised what people do. They go to great lengths to see the world, or they break it down, they want to go vegan, or they want to go vegetarian and try to stop what's already happened. The will's already in place. So my thing is to you, you have, when you're on the good side of it, why not start then? Why not give a little bit to your body and a little bit to your existence, which we're talking about, so that you can sustain yourself. Don't wait until you get on the bad part of it, then say, hey, maybe I should get back into health. You should be in health now.
Well, and also it gets to our discussions around family. It gets to our discussions around prevention, because the things that we're talking about now are preventative. And certainly there's no time like the present to start.
Correct.
And to feel that you can't make changes. Which gets me to what you were talking about in terms of spirit. And how do you combat and address, even in your clients, negative thoughts in regards to approaching an exercise regime and changing food choices and changing just how they take care of their temple?
I think we all have a friend or a confidant that we speak to. And if both people are in the same boat, then it's easy for them to follow each other. And what I would do is try to find someone that I can model myself after, or someone that I relate to, and see what they've done to stay in shape. Or if they're on the same boat, try to find out what we could do together to get healthy. There's information available. There's forums available. There's health facilities that are available at your disposal to even try. One of the biggest things that I hear is, I don't like gyms. Oh, well, you don't need a gym. All you need is yourself, basic knowledge, learn how to do basic stretches, basic calisthenics, using weight resistance with your own body weight to get you to that next level.
We also talked about, some of your work in the community, particularly around youth. Could you tell us a little bit about that and some of the things you've been doing with them?
I go to various schools. I speak to the teachers first just to see the mindset of the kids in their classes. And then my job is to go in and talk to them first and foremost about what their dreams are, what their aspirations are. It's a vast majority of the children in our school systems that don't have a dream. They're living off of other people's dreams and they're watching other people's walk. I tell them that we all need to walk our own walk to get to where we need to be. Find out what your dream is. Start at the beginning, because there is always an ending. If you stay the course and master what goes on in between, eventually the bell will sound for you and you will be successful. So that's my message to them, telling them what a nutritious meal is, what they should be eating, Skittles, potato chips, and soda is not what they should be eating at breakfast.
So you kind of buy into the fact that they kind of got some of these soda machines out of the schools, and
Right.
and although the schools lost some money, it was probably moving to a more healthier environment because sodas tend to be a real big piece in our diets, particularly in our children's diet.
And then wonder why the kids can't focus in school.
Well, you know, we think here at Education is the Best Medicine, it's important to have you on, first because of your insight and the fact that particularly Africans in America, are dying of multiple diseases, obesity, hypertension, diabetes, cancer. And in all the literature I review, they continually talk about the need for increasing activity, weight loss, changing food habits and lifestyle to a more healthier fruits and vegetables, water, that kind of thing. We're glad that you came on because we want people to get in contact with you, get a hold of you, and talk with you about these issues. As a personal trainer, we think it's important that individuals like you in the community be out extolling the virtues of good health and good positive role issues. And I think that's important. Well, tell us a little bit about your work in movies. That sounds like it's been really exciting for you. 24. How'd you get that role?
Well, working in Hollywood, I was able to go behind the scenes as an extra first. You know, I was told at an early age, successful people make a habit out of doing what people don't normally like to do. So being an extra wasn't a glamorous position, but I found a way to make it exciting and prosperous for myself. I went forward with the mindset that I didn't want to just think about me. I wanted to know what could I do to help other people. So I approached it from the service end of it. So when you're on the set and you're an extra, you're corralled in this one area. It's not that nice. You don't have those many things to do. So I brought things to do. I brought magazines, I brought papers, I brought a new television, I brought VCRs, I brought movies. So now we have this whole setup together that the production company didn't have to come up with, but the extras did. So that got my name out as a person who was very proactive and not a greedy person. So when special roles came up, opportunities came up, who do you think they asked for?
I would think they answered you.
Exactly. Exactly. It's all about positioning yourself, doing the work.
How long have you been doing this?
About 11 years.
Okay. Yeah. All right then. Who was your first trainer, and what would inspire you to understand training as not only as a science but as an art?
Well, my grandfather lived to the ripe old age of 107, and I spoke with him at length about his routine. He was always working. He was always eating fresh, organic foods out of his garden. He always had a good source of protein and grains and whatnot in his diet. So he was my teacher. He was my mentor. I just picked up weights as a kid and began working out my body. Won a few awards in high school, best body or whatnot. So it just stayed with me. I enjoyed being healthy. I enjoyed being explosive and powerful, not to the point to where I need to defend myself, but just being able to enjoy life, play tennis, play golf, play basketball, etc.
Some tips for those that want to change lifestyle in terms of activity and get more active. What do you suggest? How do you suggest to do it? First of all, I would think that meeting someone like you or again a trainer to help through the process. I think a lot of us try to attempt this by ourselves, and that sets us up for failure to begin with.
Right.
I think that some things now, like everything else, you need to learn. You need to be taught. You need to get some skills to take with you a program.
Right. You need to, and that's what the job of a personal trainer is to me. I sign people up and I work with them so that they can move on past me. I'm not trying to keep you on as a client once we go through 25, 36 sessions. I want you to be able to progress on your own from that point. So I'm educating you on how to be healthy.
Injuries. How do we handle injuries, particularly thigh injuries, hip injuries, just the general aches and pains of trying to get and maintain health?
Well, I'm also a health educator with regards to body work. So I strongly recommend getting body work done periodically when you feel those aches and pains, so you can get a deep tissue cleansing to break up all those adhesions and scar tissue that may be developing because of your new activity. And then once you get past those little bumps and bruises and those pains, then you start getting towards a higher level of activity.
Body work versus massage, the difference?
Well, it's the same. It's basically, we just call it body. We call them body workers, but you know, it's the same.
All right. We're about to wind down, and I'm kind of thinking that, you know, I want you to provide some pearls for people, maybe 3 or 4 of them to take with them as we close the show out.
Okay. What you need to do and what you need to focus on is your diet. The things that are on the shelf that have the highest shelf life, those are the things you need to stay away from. You need to go towards the foods and vegetables section of your supermarket. Research foods that are clean and organic. Also, to get started, when you first get out of the bed, get out and do push-ups, or get out and do sit-ups, do some deep knee bends, or stretch as soon as you wake up in the morning. Before you brush your teeth, before you go get that breakfast, before you grab that cup of coffee, do some form of exercise every day. Eventually, you will begin to feel the results. On the latter part of that, you don't do it, you feel nothing, and you can continue to spiral down. Ask your doctor what your physical activity level is and see if you're healthy enough to exercise.
Yeah. Well, Pernell, I want to thank you for coming on. Truly, you bring light to a very, very dark world. We think your thinking and your mindset will propel us to a more healthier and vibrant state of health. We want people to get a hold of you and talk to you and get your expertise, because we think it's something that everyone should be able to have. You know, we think you're a visionary, and vision is the art of seeing things you haven't seen. And truly, you are a visionary, Pernell. Thank you for coming on.
My
Wish
pleasure.
you success in everything that you do.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. It's a you know, a lot of.
Broken hearted, I surely came. Sons that were slain for minimal gain. Youth that can't read, speech that can't talk. Passion to move, a love that won't walk. I speak to you, my heart and my soul. My family and folks, what I surely owe. My 100 double O, nigga, ride a flow to the beat, here we go. And it's so. I was born in the city of dope. If you survive with the live, gotta pray to cope. When the players stop the collars on the fade stroke. 76 keys of F3, I'm ready to go to the land with the haze, black hand. Understand the plan. Happiness comes to die.
Just 7 minutes every other day.